Hello and welcome to episode 5 of our Timberborn Update 6 Folktales playthrough here. Cycle 8, Day 5, and we've got a problem. Let's hit pause. This is where we talk about the sluice gates and how everyone was saying different suggestions in the comments about where to place them. It turns out at the bottom was incorrect. Extremely incorrect, because these essentially are just completely open blocks that are going to drain all the way down. We needed to put these up top. So let's go ahead and close these. Make sure these are all closed, and they are. So we can stop flooding the ever-loving you-know-what out of our entire map here. Let all this water just wash itself away, and then what we're going to have to do instead is only open a little bit of this. So those of you who said this is a terrible spot, you're correct. Those of you who said it's a great spot, you're wrong, but you also might still be correct. I don't know. We've got some work to do here. So what I'm going to do, just so we can keep stuff irrigated, is take this block out, and I'm going to replace it with yet another sluice gate. And that will just be the one that opens constantly if the contamination is... I forgot what I was doing because I clicked on this and I had to do math. If the contamination is present, this will just shut. If not, this will be open. That should be enough flow to keep everything good to go. So, last time, what we did was continue expanding down here. We got this finished up. We've got a little bit more that we want to get into in terms of making sure this is actually ready for diversion in the event of a bad tide, and that would be to remove these blockages and put sluice gates here. But for right now, this is overfilling to the point where it's going to start coming off this side. So we do want to get our beavers over here to take care of the rest of this. So we'll just send them right along this way. And I think it's going to be probably fastest just to put some platforms here so we can make it over here to start removing these things. So for that to make sense, we'll just have to have them walk along the top and only just demolish the one on the very end. They'll take care of that when we get where we want to be going. Yeah, we are flooding something serious over here. So this is why we do this. We live and we learn. We figure out what works, what doesn't work, and then we adjust accordingly. Another thing we want to be doing is we want to dam up here. But we have some flow issues, if you hadn't noticed. And we're going to want to make sure that we can take as much of this as we can and turn it into something good. But for right now, we've got great storage for food, great storage for water. I pointed at the wrong thing, but that's fine. And things are progressing. Maybe not as fast as some might like, but we are doing what we can. I'm going to turn on this fluid dump so we can start filling this up and have another tree farm area up here. And then maybe start growing some food down here if we really feel so inclined. But we need to make sure we're preparing to have plenty of wood later on. So that is what I will do here. Is I'll just put this forester right at the end. And then we'll pop up some different types of trees. A little bit of a... mixture here. We've got oaks. That would be fantastic to put here, this quadrant, except what I will do is I will have this go all the way around the outside of this, right like so, just so we don't box ourselves in. And actually I'm going to not plant trees there because those can be lumberjack flags. And then we're also going to want some maples for growing to make the syrup, but we don't need those right this second. Still would be a smart idea to go ahead and plant some, just so we have them. And I think that would be... maybe we could even just do all these as maples. That would be smart. But I will leave a space here for the tapper shack, which also means if we're having maple trees, we can put some pines over here and have those guys tapped for the resin. And the tapper shack right here, we'll be able to take care of that once we actually get there. So that'll keep this guy busy for a little bit of time. This will take a little bit of time to fill up also. And then we will come over and put in one of those aquatic farmhouses as well. Once we get that unlocked, which I do have the science for. And it would be nice to just start growing a small amount of those things. I know this isn't like the best size for any of this. It's objectively kind of small, but we're going to work with what we have. And we're also going to put one down here too. Actually, come to think of it, let's just do the one down here first before we try to get too fancy. So I believe it doesn't really matter where I place this. Yeah, they're going to be able to access anything anyway. Yeah, so we'll put that there, and then all of our crops that we want to grow, we have cattails and we have spatterdock. Spatterdock goes to the grill, and the cattails go to the grist mill to get turned into flour, and then you can have crackers out of those. But that is an extra processing step, because the crackers then have to be actually made somewhere else. But I think what we've done in the past, and has worked pretty well, is to kind of alternatingly stripe some of these, just like so. Fill out different different spots here. And just make sure that we've got a decent variety of stuff. So this way, since they go in a circular motion from the door, they're always going to be working on something and not just a chunk of the same thing. So we'll see what happens when that gets built and they start working there. I know we don't have enough beavers yet, but we're going to fix that. Let's take this out of turbo mode just right now so we can go ahead and place in a couple more houses. We have opportunity here to place a lodge, and then I could dynamite once we get that out, but I don't think I want to worry about that at this exact moment. I'll just put one right here. That'll give us an extra 3 beds, so we can start building up our almost said beaver stock. That would be the laborers, you know, the beavers that live in the community. We'll get those going, and then of course we can continue building rooftop terraces if we feel so inclined. And then, how are we doing up here? Yeah, this is still super flooded. We're working on it. And this is actually promising here. If we can get somebody to come all the way up to the top here, we might actually be in decent shape. But I think... oh no, here they come. And just build this thing right now. And I doubt they're going to take this out of here. Yep, they're done. They're tired, they're going to go home. But that's in range, so the next day they'll come out and take care of that. This isn't the end of the world that this is happening. It's fine, we're not flooding downstream, which is the most important thing. Eventually I do want to dam this whole corner up, probably, but we don't need that at this exact moment in time. How are we looking for trees? We're planting, we've got some oaks, we got some maples growing. So that's good progress there. Just have to wait, see what we can get ourselves into. Nothing planted so far down here, but that will take some time to get done. So that's okay. I don't think we need to worry about having another stair access down here for this, because this is just right here. That should be okay. So let's see what our 2 beavers working here are going to get themselves into as soon as they decide to show up for work. Did they come up here yet? No. Alright. Yep, there we go. The planting has begun, and we've got both types growing. And I guess they're just going to go kind of around this way. Yep, there they go. Just like so. We can leave that alone. The next thing we want to talk about is, got a couple comments about food storage strategy, being that the potatoes are much better to be stored in ungrilled form because they have more, I guess, density. That's not the right word, but like there's more potential you can get from them without having to have more storage space allocated, because each potato turns into, is it 4 grilled potatoes or is it 5? It's 4. So you can have one storage filled with 200 regular potatoes, which is actually going to be good for 800 grilled potatoes, whereas right now I have storage for 630 grilled potatoes plus whatever in the grill itself, when I really should be just storing the raw potatoes. I should have a lot of storage of raw potatoes. But we also don't have a lot of raw potatoes that haven't been harvested, so that's not a huge issue right now. It's just something to keep in mind as we continue building different stuff over here. I guess regular potatoes. I guess I'll just build another storage for raw potatoes, and we can start building up our stock that way. Never hurts to have good, comprehensive inventory of stuff. Plus, we're going to have cattails and all that other stuff to take care of too, depending on how we want to do that. Because the grist mill will take one cattail and turn it into one cattail flour, and also one wheat and turn that into one wheat flour. And then when we go to the bakery, the cattail flour turns into 4 cattail crackers, the wheat flour turns into 5 pieces of bread. So we really probably should just be storing the wheat flour, if anything else, because the bakery itself does have the internal storage. But we're not there yet. We've got a ways to go before we do too much of that. Also, we need to move our industrial area. People have been saying back here would be a good spot, but the terrain here is not really in our favor because of how up and down everything is. So for right now, this is okay. It's obviously not optimal, but it is okay, and we can deal with that. All right. So this, yeah, we got to get the rest of these blockages removed. And then also got a couple comments saying we should farm trees up here because this is a good place for that. Keep in mind, we do still only have 40 beavers, and I have tried to do a whole lot early on, as you can see. But we've got quite a bit to do here. Just gotta figure out how to make time and not rush too much into stuff. But now look at this. Problem is pretty much solved. We've got some extra flowing out the back, and we have all that we need coming out of the front, which is what matters. And that's fine. Our storage on water is full. I can't really use any more than is currently coming out right now. So that's A-okay. We are, of course, going to refill these with sluice gates. We just haven't quite gotten there yet. I do have the metal, and I have the planks necessary to put these in. So that will be fine. We'll just drag this. Actually, no, this one doesn't have to get demolished because there's no reason for that. This is just in the way. So this is going to be marked to close below. No, we're gonna have to think about how to program these. Just right now, this needs to be open to let all the extra water flow out that we're not going to be using downstream here. But there are probably going to be situations where we want this to be closed. Like if, for example, we manage to fix this. I don't know, we're learning new mechanics, learning new stuff. I know it's not perfect. I know there's probably some of you out there who are irate about how I'm choosing to do this, but hey, we are learning. Learning is good. Always going to be a fan of figuring stuff out by doing it in these kinds of situations. And yeah, the water level is going down a little bit faster than I would prefer. And we have a drought coming, so we definitely want these to get built. But we have all the planks for it. We just have to bring the builders over, and they'll be able to do it. They just have to take the time. We will want to have access around the back here, which we can easily accomplish by running these through this way here and just putting a staircase. Of course, the blockage actually doesn't count as something we can run a path on, even if the beavers can walk on it. Alright, so above downstream depth. Oh man, this is gonna break me. Oh, it moves. Okay. So close above downstream depth 0. So this will close. if the depth is 0, or if it's more than 0. I wish it could be less. I don't know. This reminds me of the automatic floodgates mod that completely broke my brain, and then people got really mad at me for not understanding. So maybe we'll just leave that alone for now. But that can go here. Let these guys build what they're going to build. The main goal I wanted to have was to keep water up here that we could pump out and slowly move our pumping operations out of this tiny little pool here, which we seem for the most part to have accomplished. And the trees are growing here, which is good progress. I do think that now we have this in place, and also all the space down here. We should probably look into putting a Lido in. I have plenty of science, so... oh, actually, this is a perfect spot for it. Cool. We'll put that right there. That'll be nice. We've got growing spatterdock and cattails. Looking good. The drought, of course, is going to stop our water flow. So we are going to be dependent on the windmill. We'll need to expand our operations up here if we want to take advantage of all that. We've got... oh, that's too far for builders because they can't reach it because this isn't built. But that's going to be done soon. And this hasn't gotten there either. So... Perhaps the sluice gate was not the move here. Or maybe I should just say... See, the wording of this always breaks my brain. I want this to open all the way. Well, I guess it's just going to be either open or closed. I want it to open when there's contamination behind it. So God, this should be a simple logic thing. My brain does not work this way. I want to close above contamination. I'm 90% sure that's what that's supposed to be. Yeah, okay. That works. Wait, no, I want it to close... I want it to close below contamination. No, I don't want it to close at all. Okay, now I'm confused. Alright, I broke my own brain. Good job. Now I gotta reset my mind here. We've got these houses built. We have free beds. We still have some beaver children. So I think we still need more capacity to fill all these jobs we've got. Our food supply and water supply is robust enough to support who we've got going on. I believe we should be okay. We obviously want to keep adding water storage, which we might as well go ahead and do. I need to make more gears, but we'll get there soon enough. Probably not going to make too many more during this upcoming drought cycle because obviously this water wheel can't turn in a drought. So these are here. So this, I need this to close during a drought, but that's not an option because it only lets you close them. It doesn't say when it needs to be open, which I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter because it's just a binary option and it's just confusing me the way this is worded. But I want it to close during a drought, but it doesn't give me an option to close when the upstream depth is a certain thing. It only allows me to close when the downstream depth is a certain way, which I can't have that adjust for a drought because if the water's flowing through, the gate's open. But it can't close if it knows it's supposed to close because of what's behind it if it doesn't measure what's behind it. I don't even know if that makes sense. If you understand what I'm saying, and you think you can help me with this, please do leave a comment and tell me. Because I think what I expected this to be was the automated floodgate mod that had all of the controls versus above or below contamination level or at a start of a cycle or a bad tide or a drought or whatever, which this clearly is not. So I think we're going to be in manual mode for this, and we might have to just give up and do something else with that. But at the very least, we've got aquatic farming. We've got the start of a tree farm. very slowly. We can have some more over here, but I just have the one forester. And for right now, these lumberjacks don't need to be here. They can go do something else. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff for them to do. For right now, I will have this hold cattail roots because we don't have anything else really to do with those. And then this is holding regular potatoes. This is holding potatoes, but there's no potatoes in there. We've got tons of food. Tons of water relative to where we are. Probably would do us some good to start thinking about maybe having a second district up here just for the industrial stuff. And I need them to finish... I need them to finish this. In fact, yeah, I'm going to extend working hours until this is done. I think this guy's got... oh, carrying 4 planks. Nice. Too bad I need 5. Alright, so who else is coming up here? Okay. You look like you're carrying planks. Now, will you also start building it? No, you will not. Okay. Who else is anyone else coming up here to build this? I actually don't know. Okay, so who is where? Okay, you're running back. You're coming back. You are going... Oh, you're going to build. Nice. So these are closed. I need to close this. Build up some water behind it. There we go. So it's not going to be able to hold that much more. But it is now, in fact, holding. And we can just manually release as much or as little as we want in due time. This was not a smart design. But we learned something. We learned that these should never be at the bottom of a multi-height reservoir unless you have the downstream capacity to handle it. But now we have an 8-day drought. And I guess I don't have to turn these off because we have all this water upstream we can release. So we did manage to get this done. The wooden stairs to complete this loop. Obviously we can't get all the way to until these trees are gone. Which also means we need to come up here and put this other forester in, but that's probably not a great spot for it. This would be a much better place for the forester, but I think right here maybe? No, I'll just put it here and we'll call that good enough. We'll call that done. So this would be a great place to have primarily oak trees planted. So that is what I will do. Just plant all of this as oak trees. I've got three lumberjack flags here. I guess we can move. Make sure we retain space for those, but I'll put one here, and then 3 of those, and then I do think we want a 4th. Right here is probably fine. Actually, you know what? Come to think of it, this one needs to be further this way. Yeah. Because you want it to be kind of spread out. You know what we'll do? I'll just put that slightly to the inside. Now that's more centrally located. That should work. Should work out and be a pretty nice thing there. Alright, so now that is every scrap of space filled with forester or oak trees. And that will end up being nice until we have a bad tide and they die. Which... oh, you know what? We can fix that by putting in contamination barriers. But we don't have enough planks and we don't have enough metal to do it. So I think... I mean, obviously it wouldn't be able to save all of these, but if we just put these right here as contamination barriers all the way around, it would save much of this backside. And maybe we have to come in later and put some up here, but I probably am not really going to be worried about that. I still need to have the diversion thing built to where there's just a clear, this shoves out all the time. And I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. This right here would probably be a good diversion for this area, or I just blast straight through here. But that is probably going to be a project for another time, after I can figure out what in the world I want to do with this, versus just blindly build something and have it not work. But getting the tree farm up here is going to be great. This is also going to be great. How's our water levels looking? All right, we need to splash a little bit. So we'll just have that go for a moment. Replenish downstream here and then here as well. And then just give it a close as soon as we think we are doing good. How close are we to... Okay, 78%, 52%. We'll want to store the cattail roots there, of course. And once we build our industrial area up to be able to process stuff, then we'll want to do that. But I think... I don't think we should be shipping all of our product over to this other half of the map to process the food. So we probably do want to have a windmill in the general area of this part of town so we can process stuff at a grist mill. And that's not something that is mission critical to have going at all times, but it just needs to get done. So, alright, I'm going to close that now because the water was coming through here. Take a look at our power. I can't make the large windmill yet because I can't research. Well, I can research it, but I don't have the paper. So 150 HP should be more than enough to do a grist mill, and it is because that takes 60. Then, of course, the bakery requires none. But if I place this, say... Oh, yeah, we can take advantage of all this space here. I can actually put a couple of these if we feel so inclined. But I'll leave this guy right here, and then we will research the grist mill. And then that will go as close as this. Will allow us to put a straight power shaft there. This will be our storage for cattail roots, which means around the back side here, we can have storage for other stuff, like perhaps the cattail flour, which is... which one of these? This one. And then we also have to have storage for the crackers themselves, which will go here. I like making these little blocks here. Not necessarily the most space-efficient design, but I think it looks nice enough. I'll leave room for another grist mill later, and then we can pop a bakery in. We will have to start making some more gears, also just to make this, period, point blank. So let's turn this on. I know this is not generating a lot of power, but we do need to get more of this going. So that's going to be a whole thing. Long-term, processing all of this wood probably should be in a place that we have pretty constant access to power, which is not going to be here, because this isn't going to always be flowing out. This is normally going to be flowing out, but the spaces directly next to the water sources, like this channel right here, would probably be a great place to put some water wheels. We don't have the large ones because we are playing folktales, but these smaller ones would fill this space pretty nicely. We would just have to have a little inset for the high power shafts, or I just put two next to each other right here, and we could make pretty good use of this. Actually, do I want to just go ahead and do that and start putting stuff here? I know this is kind of far away, but we could put a bridge across this way if we felt so inclined. We just have to do a little bit of climbing. We could make stuff work. I think this is a good spot to put it. Or we could just pop it literally just right here. This is 5 across, and these are 2 each. So putting them in the choke point, so to speak, right here and right here, I think is probably the smart move, at least for right now. This will give us a space, should be perfectly sized, to put in a lumber mill. And then, of course, we can also build out over this passage if we feel so inclined. But we'll get that going. And then hopefully we'll be able to not rely so much on this space having the population of power, so to speak. We should be getting pretty close. 97%, very good. Of course, we are woefully devoid of planks. And this is not cutting the mustard. This 81 HP here, this needs 50. And this needs, well, once it's operating, 120. So clearly, clearly not up to snuff, but we're making it work. Doing what we can. So the most important thing for us right now is probably not even building the grist mill. It's probably building these other things up here, which don't actually need the planks or the gears. So it really doesn't matter at all. That's what I just ended up convincing myself of. This isn't running, but we're going to need metal at some point soon. I don't have enough beavers to run the rest of this, though, so I think we're going to have to pass on that for the time being. Yeah, good log dump here. We'll need to put a storage pile for, I guess, yeah, logs are probably fine to put there. Because this is going to be our plank maker. So we'll let that happen there. Our water levels are looking pretty good, but we are pumping out of this. So I will let a little bit more out. I think we might be down past the level of this sluice gate pretty soon. Yeah, see how slow that's coming out? In fact, that's coming out slow enough I can probably just leave this open. And, yeah, that's just gonna refill that ever so slightly. Good, this water is filling up. We've got a total storage capacity of 1140, which is very good for our size right now. Yep, that is now completely open. Ah, see, these trees are no longer, they're no longer irrigated. That's okay, because the forester's not even built either. They're not going to die in 3 days. So that's fine. I will leave this open because this is supposed to be flowing out when it's done. These all being connected together is fine. I will reopen this. Yeah, so all these 4 are open now. That's good. Everything is able to be connected. Let's put that last bit in. And now we do have this, I guess, partial loop going all the way around here. We are going to want to close that off by coming across this way. Yeah, we'll do that. Suspension bridges. 2x1, that's going to look nice. I will just pop that there and that there. Absolutely unconcerned about these berries. Take them away at once. Then right here, we'll just have to have this go up this way, and then up that way, and that should take care of that. And that will complete a loop once these are in place. And we'll be able... Oh, hold on. Hold on, we're drying out. 0.4 days. Well, that's not gonna do. Open... Oh, okay, that's all the floodgates. Close the floodgates. Splash the crops. There we go. That works. I don't know why these guys are hungry. I know why they're hungry, because they're super far away. But that saved that problem. Got our pathetic little Lido. There's almost no water in here. But I will, I'll go ahead and just open the one floodgate, sluice gate. Close it again so it doesn't shock anything. There we go. And that's actually surging out the bottom. I didn't really want that, but it's fine. It's what we're going to get, I suppose. So this is now ready to go, which means behind it we can't get to yet, and I'm not going to be that worried about it, but I will go ahead and put a lumber mill up here. That's going to be a much much better place for that than right here where we should be farming. This should be farming space, and this will be much, much better power generation right here next to the source. That'll be quite nice, and this will work good tide or bad tide just fine. We'll just take the stairs out. Alright, so that's finished. I'm going to go ahead, since that's now up there, I'm going to take this completely out. The gear workshop as well, remove the water wheel, and then all of this, we can gather all these materials. Except now I'm going to have to, oh, see, now we're out of water again. I need to get this, I need to have a better solution for this. But I don't really have one. I don't think the sluice gates are it. But I will say it is nice to have the stackability of these things, so I can have this overflow if it's high enough to do so, and if not, I can let it out from below and not be just completely flooding absolutely everything. That is nice. But what I was going to say is that I need to shove this closer so they can grab it. There we go. Alright, so this should be getting planks pretty soon here. And then we can come back and build the water wheel and then replace these stairs with a gear workshop. Now these two together could possibly make 250, 260 HP, which would be enough to power 2 or 3 buildings here. That would be perfectly fine. But we might want to consider putting another row of these water wheels in place. Possibly here-ish. But now we get to see this in action, see what's what this is going to make for us here. This top one's open, right? Yes, it is. All right, we're getting after it here, nice and speedy. This will continue picking up. This will continue filling up, and then when it gets here, this is open. So I think that's going to be okay. This is dry, dying in 0.1 or not 1 day. So we'll open the bottom and splash this again. We need to get these pumps out of the basin here. So that's going to be done. That should be enough for now. In fact, we have so much water, I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to get rid of them. And we'll move... There, see, now that's coming out naturally. We're going to move them upstairs, so to speak. This area up here, we probably should dam it, actually. That might make sense, because then we're going to have this all ready to go. But we did build this whole thing for a reason. And we want to be able to use our water pump, and then we have the large water pump that has a depth of 4. That actually would be the better building to build here. And we have our thing here set up for just such an occasion. I think, yeah, this will be okay. It'll be okay like this. We can just have some storage downstairs here. Alright, I need triple platforms. Alright, here. And then we will go ahead and unlock the large water pump. 3 beavers working here. Every hour we get 15 water. Much more efficient than this one, which is every hour we get 3 for 1 beaver. It would take 5 beavers to equal the output of the 3 here. Plus, this building is neat. It looks cool. It's got a nice design. So we'll have space, if depending on how we want to rearrange this, we could even put a large tank when we get that unlocked. But we don't have it right now. So now we have all this extra space we can do some more planting with. Not like we need to have that much more going on, but it is ready to go. Spatterdock we need storage for as well. That goes in a grill, so that can have a storage right up next to that spot. And that's for grilled spatterdock. The raw spatterdock is here. So that grill can go right here. Set that to the spatter dock. And then we can have grilled spatter dock. And we have 4 extra beds. We probably should start using these larger lodges, but we can rearrange all that later. For right now, what we are trying to do, this is fine. Just pop that guy right there. Rooftop terraces, I guess, are being used. Yeah, a little bit. So that's fine. How's our progress going on this? Okay, they're working. They're working on it. The water level staying up here for right now, I think, is fine. Obviously, coming out of the back, I maybe should not have put 4 of these here. But I did want to make sure that the bad water could always flow out at full strength with that other one closed. So I think this was the right call. We just haven't had the bad tide yet to make use of that. Tree farm up here, the pines have grown. But we're not going to be cutting the pines down. We're going to be harvesting them for the resin. So these guys are okay. Now let me unmark these for cutting so we don't accidentally do that. Unmark the road for cutting because we don't need to be cutting the road. And then we can mark these, unmark the maples for cutting. Because those are going to be for the sap, syrup, what have you. These oak trees, once they are harvested, I might change over to chestnuts so we can get some sort of a food item from them. In fact, turn that might into a will. I'm going to unplant these, but we will cut them because we have all of these that we're growing for wood up here. And that should be okay. This is going to be industry stuff. And the reason I didn't put it over for the bad tide again, bad water area, is because the terrain here is just treacherous. This would be a pain to build on. This is going to work in good tide or bad tide alike, and it's making 336 HP. That's great power. Great power. So since we have so much wood, I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I'm going to build these 2 water wheels here. And then we'll just have to rearrange how stuff gets laid out. Because I want to make sure I can take advantage of the full width of this channel and make a bunch of power. And we can move stuff around. It'll be fine. I wanted to get this up and running to some degree before we did much of anything else. Remember, we can also come around the back here and build a high power shaft and have a whole bunch of stuff on this back side. Just wanted to have something up and running here. Now the gears we are going to need before too long because we need them for the large water pump, but they haven't even finished the platform yet. So what is probably going to end up happening, at least for right now, is that I just put a gear workshop right here just so we can use it. And they end up building these water wheels. But I will build this one first, and this first, and this I'm actually going to deprioritize for right now. Along with this. Well, they can't reach it anyway. But that will get them building this ahead of... I can't click on the right thing. The platforms here, and then the large water pump. Because we haven't gotten that quite sorted yet. Yeah. And we still do have some water, not to worry. We still have probably another almost half of the cycle before we're going to get a drought or a bad tide in. So we do have time to get the water back. And keep in mind, this one large water pump is going to outdo the 4 that we already had down here. I think. If my math is correct. Which it rarely is. Yeah. So that's good. That's working. This is... Ooh, it's awaiting planks. And the planks are currently being used for this. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Is I will deprioritize. I know this might seem stupid right now, but I will deprioritize construction on this. Just to make sure all the planks go to the gear workshop. So we don't have anything else right now that needs gears. Or needs planks with the exception of the grist mill, which already has all of its planks. So that's looking fine. We've got our spatter dock here. We've got our grill. We've got Cory Rico in here making some grilled spatter dock. So our beavers are going to have a really nice variety of food. That's good to see. We do need to grow our population a little bit, but that's probably going to be more to do with increasing our well-being than it is just building more houses, because we want them to live longer. Right now the well-being is very low. But the food's going to help a whole lot with that. Outside of that, we could build some more recreational opportunities, aesthetic things, and then fun as well. If more of them would use the Lido, that would be nice. But food early on, I think, is going to be the key to that. And there should be some planks down here that we can use. Why did I just get a push notification for the Steam Summer Sale while I'm recording a game? I've never gotten one of those before. That's very strange. I don't think you saw the overlay because OBS is only capturing the game window. That was very, very weird. Steam, don't do that. Alright. Just a couple more of these left. Oh, we're still on 21-hour days. No, we need to take that back down. I completely missed it. So, if you caught that and you left a comment, thank you. I appreciate you. But I already fixed it. Yeah, that was my mistake. Of course it's my mistake. I'm the one playing the game. That's how it works. Well, that's fine. Now that our average is back up to 10, take a look at our population here. There's only Ganja Burn here. Starving. We'll eat something. We've got tons of food. But everybody should have that plus 20% boost. Yep, it looks like they do, with the exception of those who are... How did... Oh, okay, they died of old age. I was about to say, there's no way they're dying of starvation or thirst. I promise you that's not happening. Okay, so now this can be a regular priority again. Because we're going to run out of water, not immediately, but it's going to become a pressing issue sooner rather than later. We got good storage of the raw potatoes. Our carrots amounts fine. Spatterdock is looking good. The grilled spatterdock needs a place for that to go. So I guess I can just go ahead and pop one of these here. We are going to invest in the large storages, but right now I'm not making enough planks to build them reliably. Once we get the industrial area all squared away, then we're going to redo this whole thing, integrate it a little bit better with our housing. This is all just early game, make it work type stuff. Alright, so that's looking okay. Planks are coming when they're coming. These are still turned off because I don't need the metal at this exact moment in time. And we're going to need to have water storage up here to make it easier for them to get around with things. And of course those require gears and planks. So just to save our butts early on, I will go ahead and build one of these. So we don't get caught with our pants down. Still have 240 water. We're still sitting just fine for the time being, because it will not be too much longer before this is complete. This only needs 5... Oh, I made a terrible mistake. I know there's at least a couple of you who called it and were screaming at your computer this whole time. So let's hold off on the large pump for now. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's Oh man. All right, so I'm actually going to just Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Let's pretend that this wasn't done this way. Just between you and me. Never a dull day, huh? At least we still have water. And I know we're still dumping it in here. But we will have a pump here operating today. In-game. Yeah, they'll pick this up. Oh, they got to take it all the way back down to plank storage. We need to fix that. Need to fix that. I know that's not the ideal solution, and these are being made up here. But, yeah. They just got to grab these while they can. That's fine. We're not going to run out of water. We're going to be okay. We still have a day and a half worth of water left. And these are going to be up and running before we know it. See, we already have 3 out of 4 planks. I don't think anyone is coming back up to do the rest of that, but... Yeah, well, tomorrow in game, that's the do or die right there. So in light of that, I'm going to pause this fluid dump so it stops dumping it out. And now we can build this water pump with great expediency. And make sure this is the absolute highest priority workplace, which it is. There you go, Dirt Tracker. Make it happen, bud. Do I have a... I do... I should still have haulers, yeah. Alright, so we are repumping. We're making it work. I know that only goes down 2 blocks. It is what it is. It's fine. But they're only dying of old age, not of thirst. So that's going to be the top priority, is to get this other thing done, and then the other one's going to be bonus. Okay, but we have gears, which means we should be, yeah, we're getting pretty close to having this gristmill done, which is very exciting. We've got a lot of grilled spatterdock now, folks. We got 260. Very good. Very good. We should see our quality of life continue to improve, with the exception of not having a lot of water. But we are pumping. We're making it work. There we go. There we go. Now we got twice the work happening here. We're gonna be okay. Gonna be fine. It's just gonna be a little dicey for a little bit. Now, how many... Oh, there's only one? Okay, I need to super deprioritize these inventors so we have beavers working as haulers. There we go. That is going to help us substantially. Alright, so having the thirsty beavers have to come all the way up here is not a good way of doing this, for the record, in case you were not aware. So we definitely want to get this expanded, pumping more and more and more as much as we can, and then having all that water schlepped down here. That is and has always been the best way to do this. Oh, good, the gristmill's done. We're going to do cattail flour. And then, of course, we have to have a bakery. But for now, we can start refining the cattail roots into cattail flour. And then eventually we'll make the cattail crackers. But right now, we're in please get water mode. Which these two are doing the best they can. The builders are building. I'm going to extend working hours just to try and make sure this can be as close to done as it can, because we're probably going to get our bad tide or drought warning the next day, since this is day 14. Very likely it'll be soon. Okay, so now they can go back to 18-hour days. Drought approaching. Good. That's the best news we could have had. Because now we can just keep pumping throughout the rest of the drought cycle. And we do have plank storage here, so that's going to work out too. All this stuff is still on the ground. All these logs we don't have room for. We will be processing them soon as we are continuing to build other things. But, you know, it's working. It's a little bit like drinking through a fire hose at this point, but we're still getting water, even if it is drinking through a fire hose, and even if these guys are just barely making it happen, we are going to be okay. Just need our planks to come up here, which should, hopefully, sooner rather than later, make their way into the construction site. What is happening? What is happening here? This is stalled. Okay, Alex Lantis. Okay, here you are. Oh, you're starving. Well, go eat something, bud. I know you have to go halfway across the universe to go get a snack, but... Oh, now you're dehydrated. Well, that makes sense. There's not a whole lot of water up here. We don't have a food building that's using water, do we? I don't think so, no. Alright, now I need you to make... Oh, this isn't connected. That was a huge mistake. Now that's fixed. Right, that was such a long detour then to get to this. Alright, now we're supplying our planks. Now we're looking good. Although this should be prioritized by haulers. You should not be doing that. Alright, bud. We got like no water. We got like no water. Let's make it happen. Okay, so this isn't working as fast as we need it to, so I will re-implement the emergency water pump down here, because we know we can build that pretty fast and have this operating. That is going to be mission critical infrastructure here. So let's have them just do this. I should have done this earlier, but we'll go ahead and just have this pumping so they don't die. But we definitely want this to be what we're eventually going to get done here. Yeah, we just need the one plank here. And then we're going to start the drought. And that, friends, is going to be the end of the episode when the drought starts. So, overall, I think we can be content with this. I'm not going to say happy, because I definitely made a bunch of rash decisions here. But nobody died of starvation or thirst. And now we have a bunch of other types of foods to enjoy. Aquatic farming is up and running. We've got a tree farm also starting here. And now we have 3 water pumps up here. So I'm going to go ahead and close all of these, because it is about drought time. I should have closed them a little earlier. But there you have it, folks. Start of a 6-day drought. That is going to be it for this one. We are going to have to release a little bit of water periodically so we can keep the crops watered. But now we should be able to catch up with that, especially since we have this guy pumping here for them to drink from. It's going to be a little dicey for a little bit of time, but we'll get it taken care of. I know. It is stressful to watch me skate the edge here, so to speak, but we're going to be fine. We're making good progress. We're learning about the sluice gates and how they don't work more than we are learning about how they do work. So, well, that's valuable knowledge. Again, it's a completely new thing in the game. It isn't quite what I thought it was going to be. I was trying to treat it more like a floodgate with the programmable stuff, and when in reality it's just it's an open or closed thing that is basically just deleting the block when it's working. So, lets all the water through. If it's down too low, too much comes out at once. If it's up too high, maybe you miss some sort of level of it coming out. I don't know. We'll get it figured out. But I appreciate you being here, Beard Boosters, as well. All 250, 300 something of you. I can't even keep up anymore. We had so many gifted memberships over the past couple days. But I really do appreciate all the support, and all of the comments and everything as well. Makes it possible for me to know what you are feeling about what we're doing. I'm sure a lot of this series has been perhaps a bit frustrating for some of you who are wondering why I'm going through stuff so quickly and trying different things. Variety is the spice of life, and we're learning new stuff. It's fun. We're playing on normal mode. We're going to be okay. Just taking a little bit of a risk here to see what we can get done, and try a couple new things along the way. But that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Have fun, stay safe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.